Just whenever you're ready.
Yep, we are.
Okay, yeah, take it over then.
Okay, let's roll. Here we go.
Okay.
Troubleshooting Sitecore on Azure PaaS. We're gonna drop off and let you go for it. You all comfortable there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep, thank you guys. So welcome everybody. This session we are going to be, it is kind of troubleshooting related session than the ones before. So this would be basic level of what kind of activities we do as part of troubleshooting and debugging our Sitecore application that is hosted in Azure, and how Azure as a platform gives options and feasibility for the same. So we'll do our best to make this session more interesting and hope you guys are not getting bored. Who are we? Introducing ourselves. Myself, I am Sri Krishnan. I am working as Sitecore developer with overall Sitecore experience of 6 years and was awarded Sitecore MVP 2020 in technology.
Hello everyone, I am Khushbu and I work as a Sitecore developer at Horizontal Integration, and I also have a total experience of 6 years on Sitecore.
Yep. So as you can see, in front of you are some QR codes. So if you just scan these QR codes, it will take you to our respective blogs. So yep, follow our blogs.
So as we are fighting together in this global pandemic, there are some people who are working for our safety, like doctors, nurses, the World Health Organization timelessly. Also, there are some people that are less fortunate than us. So let's do our part as well. Let's help them in whichever manner we can. Let's donate. And we have also created a break room which you can join during the whole conference to speak to other attendees and Sitecore community members. You can talk about anything you like, not just about this conference, and you can also share ideas or dig deeper into a conference topic.
Yep. Just to give you guys an idea on what the next 30 to 40 minutes will be and what you are gonna get from this session. We hope most of the participants, we might have used Azure to host their web application, and some of you even might have used this debugging processes also. So from the beginning itself, we are seeing that all Sitecore developers being good at DevOps. Like we have had our hands in deployments, TeamCity, Octopus, and many other DevOps related areas. So Azure is also one of them. And frankly saying, Azure is very much interesting. So in our agenda, first we'll walk you through application insights, then app service diagnostics, then comes an interesting tool which is Kudu. After that, monitoring web apps, then finally collecting basic Sitecore diagnostic information. We have heard our clients say that our site is slow or site is down. So whenever we take those issues first to our DevOps team, they just cross their hands or they just tell that, oh, it is the problem with your application, and that is why the CPU is increasing or memory is increasing. And then it is the problem of our code. But what we do, we just raise a Sitecore support ticket without even further working or analyzing on the issue. But what if we have an idea on what and how to troubleshoot your application? Suppose if we get a pattern of issues, then we can further analyze ourselves and provide these details to Sitecore support, or else we can take it over or we can itself further debug on that. So like we would be demonstrating, Azure has very vast areas where we can explore and start troubleshooting.
So let's start with application insight. So what is Application Insight? So Application Insight is a powerful tool which developers and DevOps can use to monitor live applications. It automatically detects performance and includes powerful analytic tools to help you diagnose issues. It helps continuously to improve performance and usability. Now it also it monitors request rates, response times, and failure rates. So you can use this data to analyze which pages are most popular at what time of day and where your users are. And you can also see which pages perform best. For example, if your response times and failure rates go high when there are more requests, then perhaps you have a resourcing problem. So this kind of problem you can identify with the help of this data. It also monitors dependency rates, dependency response times, and failure rates. So you can analyze this data to find out whether external services are slowing down your application. It also records both server and browser exceptions reported by the application. Then it monitors page views and load performance reported by your users' browsers. It monitors performance counters such as CPU, memory, and network usage. So what about Sitecore? So in the out-of-the-box configuration for Sitecore on Azure, Application Insight has been enabled by default. So when you install a Sitecore application on Azure, it also installs Application Insight with the setup. So now let's explore various features provided by Application Insight, for example, monitoring, diagnostic, and log analysis. Let's start with analyzing Sitecore logs. So Sitecore writes log information to Application Insight when running on the Azure App Service. In Application Insight, you can identify error and warning messages. You can identify messages from specific roles and Sitecore instances. Even you can search for specific log messages or stack trace. We will explore this later with other topics of Application Insight. Next is live metric. So live metrics stream in Application Insight allows you to see what is happening to your application right now. So it shows incoming request, outgoing request, and server health aggregated across all servers in which your application runs in real time. You can monitor performance of your application as well as failure request and diagnose or fix issues with help of this information. Now, when user experiences any request failures, you can see it immediately in request failed metric, or where any dependency call fails, for example, SQL query, you can see it in dependency calls failed metric. So live metric also shows sample telemetry where you can monitor failures and exceptions, which provide further detail about incoming URL, response code, server role, instance name, full stack trace for unhandled exception, and many more details based on the event type. Now let's see performance feature provided by Application Insight. So performance panel in Application Insight shows overall performance of the application. It shows all requests sorted by duration and count for each request. It also shows CPU and memory utilizations. You can see insight of each request by selecting any request from the list. Now let's see how can we use this information to diagnose slow request. So each request event is associated with the dependency calls, exceptions, and other events that are tracked while your application is processing the request. So if some requests are doing badly, you can find out whether it's because of slow response from a request or slow response from a dependency call. So you can see the performance of dependency calls by navigating to the dependencies tab in performance panel. It shows all dependency calls and count sorted by duration taken to solve the request. So in this example, you can see the HTTP calls to different server roles, for example, reporting routing, solar cloud, etc. have been listed. So you can select any dependency request from this list for further diagnostic. And after you select a dependency, a graph of that dependencies distribution of durations will show up on the right. And if you notice, there is a blue samples button on the bottom right, which shows sample request for the dependency. And by selecting any sample, you can see the end-to-end transaction details. So what is end-to-end transaction detail? So it is a view that shows time sequence list of all telemetry related to the request. In this case, solar dependency sample has been selected and it is showing SQL and solar queries executed for that request and duration taken to serve those telemetries. Now you can click on view all telemetry button to view specific queries executed in SQL and Solar, which is available at the bottom of this panel. And you can also select any telemetry request from the list to see further details about that request. So application insight also records failed request information. It also records associated failed calls to dependency services like SQL, Solar, etc., or any HTTP service. And you can further analyze this information to dig into the real cause of the issue, like we viewed for the slow request diagnostic in previous slide. So next topic is application map. Application map gives us a topology view of entire application and shows all the server side and client side dependencies in one single view. You can solve the problem by understanding if it is code related or dependency related using this application map. For example, your application may be failing due to performance degradation in SQL tier. So with help of the application map, you can see it immediately and drill into the SQL Index Advisor provided by Azure. So, but what about Sitecore? So in Sitecore, like Sitecore does not collect dependency telemetry events by default. So in Sitecore, the dependency telemetry records are the information about outgoing HTTP and SQL connection from a Sitecore instance. So how can we enable this in Sitecore? So to enable it in Sitecore, you need to uncomment a dependency tracking telemetry module configuration, which is already available in the application insights config file, which is located inside the website root folder. So this dependency tracking telemetry module is Azure's module, which records the dependency calls, the data about the dependency calls in application insight. So to view the topology view of our application, we need to enable this in Sitecore. So if you see the image in left side, this is the circle. This is the default view of application map when you open it in AI. And when you enable this dependency tracking module, it will show the view. It will show the topology view as you can view in the right side image. So and you can click on any component to see related insights and go to the performance and failure panels to view more information about that component. Now let's see few example of application map components. So in first map, the SQL component has been highlighted. It is indicating number of database calls and failure rate. It is also showing slowest database calls, which can be further investigated by navigating to the performance panel in application insight. And in second map, the HTTP component has been highlighted, indicating number of HTTP calls to different services. It is also showing top failures and slowest request, which can be investigated further by navigating to performance and failure panels. Now let's see all this feature of application insight in Azure. So you can navigate to the application insight from your resource group, and this is the overview panel of application insight. Let's start with analyzing the logs first. So when you navigate to search panel, it shows the site code logs of your application of last 24 hours, and you can further filter by time range given here. So here some of the default time ranges are provided. Also you can provide a custom timestamp. So let's select last 3 days, and it is showing the logs of last 3 days. Here the search box is provided in which you can search for any term, or you can search for any specific structures you are looking for. This also provides some additional filters. For example, server role. So our application is single web app, so here only single role is listed. But if your application is scaled application, then it will list down the CD, CM, processing, reporting, that kind of role, and you can select any role to filter the logs based on your server role. And there are many more filters are available which you can explore as per your need. So here we can also filter by events type. By default, all events are selected. Let's say we want to filter by exception. So here I can see the exceptions occurred in my application in last 3 days. And when we select any exception sample, it navigates to the end-to-end transaction details. And here it shows the more information about that exception, like message, exception type, failed method, and it also shows the full stack trace of that exception. So you can use this information to analyze the root cause of your issue and then fix the issue with help of these details. Now let's see live metrics. So as we saw, the live metrics provide the real-time performance of your application. So it shows this much metrics by default. For example, incoming request, outgoing request, and request failure rates, and CPU utilization. And it also shows the sample telemetry, stresses, exceptions, failure request, any information about dependency calls, and you can select any sample from this telemetry and you can view more details about that sample as well. Let's explore performance panel. So this is the performance panel provided by AI. It shows the some of the metrics like request count, CPU utilization, available memory, all those. It also lists down the request coming to your application, and it shows the distribution of duration for that particular request. And when you select any request from this list, it gives the samples about that request. And again, when we select any sample from this, it navigates to the end-to-end transaction where we can see the dependency calls of that request and also the detail about that request. Same as failures panel, but this shows the exceptions and failed request of your application. So it shows the failed request, and it also shows the dependencies failed request. Like here it is showing the one of the SQL dependency telemetry is failed. And again, going to the dependency, it shows the samples, and on selecting any sample, you can see the end-to-end transactions about that sample and get the more details about the exception or failed request. So same as failure, this performance panel also shows the dependencies data. So it shows the dependencies calls to your application, and it also shows the some of the metrics about the dependencies services as well. Let's move to the application map. So we have already enabled the dependency telemetry module in our application. So here we can see the topology view of our entire application. And if I select a SQL component, it shows me the database calls, the calls to the different database, and it also shows the number of calls and failure rates of that call. And it is also showing top failing status code, and it is also showing slowest calls by name. And we can also investigate this further by navigating to the failures and performance panels, which we just explored now. So let's move to the presentation again and explore the next topic.
Yep. So that was an awesome demo on application insights, but that's not it. That is just a beginning. So now the next section is app service diagnostics. So it is an intelligent and interactive experience that will help you to troubleshoot the app with no configuration required. So when we run issues into our app service diagnostics points out what's wrong in your web application, and it guides you to the right information to more easily and quickly troubleshoot and resolve the issue. To access app service diagnostics, you like we saw the blade at the left side. There we have an option for diagnose and solve problems. When you click on that diagnose and solve problems, it will take us to a home page where we are given with these 6 options like availability and performance, configuration management, SSL domains, best practices, navigator, and diagnostic tools. So in this home page, again, each tile has again its own child tiles. When you click on that tile, it will again take you to another page where a genie, that is an interactive experience or interactive tool, which is a genie that will guide you on what next. It will provide you the real time what caused issues with your applications, what went good with your applications, and it also provides a report on what all has happened in the application according to the time period. Suppose you don't know where to start with, you don't know what is the issue, the best place to start is health check, which is in the availability and performance panel. So now let's move on to Azure and then check this health check part, and let's see what all it provides. So like I mentioned, inside this, when you scroll down, it's app service diagnostics option will be there. Hello, can you hear me? Gopi,
Yes, Rishi.
are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I guess, yeah, Kushbu has lost the connection, it seems.
Okay. Yeah, she just dropped out.
Yep, let's hope she joins
Hello?
back. Yep, yes, Kushbu.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yep,
Yeah, we can hear
and
you.
okay. And can you see my screen as well?
yes.
Okay.
So, yep, let's navigate to app service
Just a
diagnostics.
second.
Yep.
I'm navigating to the diagnostic and solve. Sorry.
I guess she has been disconnected again.
right?
Yep, no worries. If you can hand over me the only Kushbu can do that, or you can.
Now I can make you presenter,
Yep.
right? Did you get the prompt?
Yeah, yep, I got the prompt.
Okay.
Hello.
Which is yep, yes, Kushbu.
Yeah, I'm back.
So are you able to share the screen now?
Yeah, sure.
Don't worry, guys. It's a bit to be expected.
Yep.
Yeah, so
All right.
can you see Azure window?
Yep, we can.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep, we can.
navigating to the diagnose and solve
Yes.
problem.
Yes, guys, we are back. So, yep, the diagnose and solve problems, as I mentioned, it gives you an interactive page like we are seeing now. So here we have 6 options like availability and performance. As I mentioned, we will be now moving to the health check. So when you open the health check, like it is displaying, a genie is provided, and it again gives you with another options which actually might be your issue, like web app is down or CPU is down, etc. So now let's move on to the web app slow tile which is present in that. So yep, so when I click on web app slow, it again gives you with 3 sections. The first section is the performance report on how our web app was responding. Then the next section, if we scroll down, it will provide you with the observations, that is the events that is occurred during this particular time period. So like you can see, there was the application had experienced some cold starts, and there were some slow requests also detected. And there was also this web app was restarted sometime. So this is the observations that were found with our web application. Now, if we scroll down again, it will provide us with the troubleshooting and next steps, which actually helps us to integrate with application insights, which Kushbu showed it before. And also we can collect .NET profiler trace. We can also collect memory dump. We can also configure auto healing action. Then the next section is successful checks. So like every negative should have some positive sides also. It should not only show the negative sides. So our application had the following successful checks. There were no application crashes that occurred, and memory is good, CPU is good, and other sections which you can see here. Like we also have the successful checks for our web app. Now let's move back to our home. Now let's explore what other options are present here. Like in availability and performance, other than health check, you can get the options for downtime, 5xx errors, 4xx errors, CPU and memory. So if you click on that, you will get your reports with respect to the issue. Suppose I have a memory related issue, then I don't need to go to health check. I'll directly go to the memory panel. Similarly, in configuration and management, we have failed backups, scaling, etc. In SSL and domains, we again have 4xx errors, which happened because of SSL request, and then authentication, certificate related issues. And then in the best practices section, we have traffic manager related, and we have auto scale related, and ARR affinity. In the navigator section, we have dependency map, changes, and dependency, change analysis, etc. And the last section is diagnostic tools, where you can find the profiler, memory dump, and auto heal action, the metrics, and security. So the main advantage of this application service diagnostics is that you don't need to do anything special. Everything will be automatically provided. The reports will be provided. You just have to analyze those reports and then further decide on what exactly to troubleshoot. Now moving on to our next section, which is Kudu. The name sounds interesting, right? Yep. So this tool is also a really interesting tool that is used for playing around the web apps. So what is Kudu? Kudu is a set of advanced tools for Azure App Services. Basically, it gives you low-level access to the file system and ability to manipulate the files at file system level. We can also run commands, PowerShell scripts, etc. This is just browser based. So what is like, we don't have any application to be installed exe file or something. We just have to browse that Kudu tools from Azure App Portal and then proceed with our debugging process. Other properties are, we can also run a command prompt. We can also run PowerShell commands with this. We can browse, edit, view, deploy files. Like we don't mention to deploy files directly, but if there are files like some admin pages or some files that does not break the application, we can deploy it directly or edit it directly. And also we can also manage the processes that are running. Perhaps we have a process that we need to kill, or it is using high memory, so we need to kill that process. So we can do it from the manage processes, and this gives an idea on what exactly is going with your process using our process manager. So that was basic details about Kudu. So now let's move on to troubleshooting using Kudu. So the first section is real-time log streaming. So in our application, whenever we find some issues with respect to our application, the first place we go is logs. So here, when somebody is browsing the application in parallel, you can real-time monitor these logs using this real-time log streaming. Then the process explorer, like you can see, it displays the W3 WP process for that. And then we can also start profiling for this. We can collect the profile, also collect the IAS events. We can also check some other properties like environment variables. You can kill the applications like I mentioned before. The next section is proc dump analysis. As we are all Sitecore developers, and also we either Sitecore support must have asked you to provide a memory dump of your application when it is causing issue. So we might have used this proc dump for collecting our dumps. In Azure Web Apps, there is no need to install this proc dump specially because it is defaultly available. We just need to browse to that particular path, and then we just need to execute that particular command with respect to our process, which is the W3 WP process, which is running. Now let's see this in Azure portal. Yep. So in this application, when we scroll down, we can see there is a section for advanced tools. When we click on advanced tools, it opens us Kudu. Like if you notice the URL, this URL is similar to the application URL. The only specially added is a SCM in between the application URL. So suppose you don't need to go through all these steps. If you know the application URL, you can add an SCM in between and then directly start browsing if you are logged into Azure. Then in this, there is a section for log streaming. Like if you can see, there is a log streaming. So if we open the log streaming, it will actually give you real-time logs. So past some 30 minutes, we do not have performed any major applications or major tasks. So that is why we do not have major errors, but still we have some application related exception and some other exceptions which is thrown. So like this, using this log streaming, we can also browse the real-time log streaming. Now going back to Kudu, there is a section in the top which is Process Explorer. When you click on Process Explorer, it takes us to the Process Explorer where we can see our application. So in this application, we can, if you scroll to the right side, there is a checkbox for collecting the IAS events. And then after clicking that, when we click on Start Profiling, it will just start to create a profile, collect the profile for our application. And there is also a button for properties. So if you open the properties button, we have a general section where we have the general information of our application. We also have an environment variable section where we have the, like we usually do configure environment variables for Java and everything, correct? So this environment variables section is available in this. Now if we move back to general section and scroll down to bottom, there is an option for killing this process and also download memory dump. So we can kill the process and we can also download the memory dump from here itself. So these facilities are provided in the Process Explorer. Now let's move on to proc dump. That can be navigated from the debug console command prompt. If we click on command prompt, it will open our root file like data, log files, and site. Our web application is located in the site folder, but we do not want to go to site folder as ProcDump is located at a different place. So we just need to navigate to DevTools sysinternals folder where we have this ProcDump already installed. So when you scroll down, you can see that procdump.exe is present. We now from this particular position, we just need to execute our command, which is procdump -accept eula -e1-f. We can also provide our exception if we need. Suppose I need to I need to collect my dumps whenever this solar related exception is occurred. So I will write solarnet exception and -ma the process ID. And this process ID, we can get it from the Process Explorer, which we saw sometime before. So this is how we can collect dumps using ProcDump. Kushbu, you are muted.
Kushbu.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So that was the good information regarding Kudu and App Service Diagnostic by Shri. Now let's explore the next section, which is monitoring web app in Application Insight. So Azure provides built-in monitoring functionalities for web apps, and it helps you understand how your applications are performing and proactively identifies issues affecting them and the resources they depend on. So as we have already explored some of the features provided by Application Insight. So one more feature of Application Insight is real-time monitoring. So it provides a real-time monitoring dashboard with some metrics added to it by default. So and how this matrix has been displayed. So this metrics have been generated using telemetry recorded by Application Insight. And this image shows overview page of Application Insight, which displays failed request, server response time, server request, and availability metrics by default. You can view default application dashboard by selecting application dashboard in the upper left corner. Now let's explore default application dashboard provided by Azure Monitoring. So this is the default view of application dashboard. Here various metrics are added and divided into 4 categories, which are usage, reliability, responsiveness, and browser. And you can also edit default view, or you can add and delete from the dashboard to best fit your need. Also, you can pin different charts and views from various Azure resources such as Application Insight, App Services, or SQL databases to create custom dashboard that provides you with complete picture of the health and performance of your application. Let's see this in Azure. So I'm going to the application insight, and this is overview panel, which we can see 4 metrics added here: failed request, server response time, server request, and availability. And we can navigate to the application dashboard by using this option. And this is the default view of the application dashboard provided by Azure Monitoring. Here you can see the number of metrics are already added. And suppose I'm clicking on this failed request. So it will navigate me to the failures panel in AI, which we already explored during our application insight. So you can, as you can know, use this information to find out the root cause of your failures and exceptions. Now let's see how can we add the multiple charts, the other charts from other Azure resources to this application dashboard. So I'm navigating to the web app of my application. And here also in overview panel, some of the metrics are already shown by Azure. And let's say I want to pin this metric to my application dashboard. So I'll click on this and it will pin this chart to the application dashboard. Let's pin this request as well. And when we navigate to the view dashboard, it shows these 2 charts added from the web app of our application. So this way you can add more metrics from SQL or SQL database or any other web app from your Sitecore install Sitecore solution setup, and you can create your custom dashboard to monitor your overall performance of your application. Let's move to the presentation.
Yep. So that was all about everything which we could debug from the Azure side. But suppose there is a, you are not that much aware of how things work in Azure, but you are aware that, okay, you can browse the Sitecore application and then browse the application or logs from your local. So now let's see how the parameters which were specified in the Azure, like logs and request traces, how everything can be bought in our local Sitecore application. So for that, the first tool is Azure Tools, which is an admin page which Sitecore provides by default. If you go to the knowledge base article of Sitecore and search for Azure Tools, we can download this admin page and then just put this admin page inside our admin folder of Sitecore application. For successfully this page to work, we need 2 parameters, which is an application ID and API key. Now let's see how this application ID and API key can be collected from Azure. So when we move on to our single application, not application insights, in our single application. Okay, inside this we have an API access. So from here we are getting an application ID. So we need to copy this application ID, and then for getting the API key, there is a section which is create API key. When we create an API key, we need to just provide a description, and then we need to check on read telemetry. Once we have performed both, if we click on generate key, it will give us a pop-up where it will mention like, okay, there is a key, but make sure that you are saving this key, because once you generate this key, we cannot retrieve it back. So we have to make sure that we are saving it in our local. Then when we move on to our Azure tools using these two parameters, so this is our Azure tools. From this, we will move to App Insights. So like you can see, application ID and API key both are provided. Now coming to the roles section, we can find existing roles for our particular instance. When we click on that, as we mentioned before, our installed application is a just single web application, not a scaled one. We can see the single role, and we can then preview the traces or preview exceptions. Now, if you click on preview traces, it will just show us the traces that is occurring during this particular time period. And if we are clicking on preview exceptions, again, that will also show this particular exceptions in our time period. That is the recency which we have specified in the recency section. Also, we can download these logs from 1 hour to 7 days. We can select any of the days and we can download the logs to our local and then further analyze the logs. Also, there is an extended view where we can take not only 7 days, we can give more values and we can take the logs for some 15 days and everything. Now there is a section nearby logs, which is request section. So in the request section, we can see there are some status codes, which is 1x, 2x and everything. And in that particular section, if we click on preview request, it will show all the requests that were happened in that particular time period. So if you scroll down, it is showing our get, post and all the requests that happened 401, 302 status code. Like it gives us all the status codes of our application in that particular time period. There's also a row section nearby the which actually prompts us to give a query and then filter the values. So we have some examples which are specified by default, like traces where timestamp greater than now -1 day, where message contains exception, and custom dimension stack trace contains exception. So when we execute that particular query and then click on run, it will again show us all the list of exceptions and traces which is occurring in the time period that we are specifying in the query. So that is how Sitecore Azure tools work. So whatever we have shown it from the first in the application insights, like logs, traces, exceptions, everything we are getting in our local like an admin page. Now moving on to next section. This is not actually kind of troubleshooting, but this helps us to connect to the FileZilla, the FTP server using a FileZilla client, and then we can browse the web app directory directly. So suppose I need to provide my bin folder, just the bin folder to my Sitecore support, then I'll just browse to this particular folder using my credentials, and then we'll download the bin folder to our local and then give it to the Sitecore support. For this, there is 3 parameters required. From the publish profile, we will get publish URL, username and user password. Now let's see how we can get the publish URL and everything from publish profile. So in the web application, in the overview section, we can find a button, find a link for publish profile. So when you click on publish profile, it will download us a notepad or download us a file, which when we open it, it will have the following credentials. Like you can see, there is a section which is the profile name is our web application -ftp, and in that we have a publish URL, the username and this password. When we connect 3 of this to our using a FileZilla, it just provides us the directory of our web application, and we can either download it and then further analyze more on that. So yes, that was just an introductory overview of how to troubleshoot your Sitecore application hosted on Azure PaaS. But once you get deep into this, you can explore more options, which we are sure will keep you interesting to learn more. This event could not have happened without our community members and without our community, and we are proud to be community members.
And you can also join Sitecore Slack if you have not yet, where you can find whole variety of Sitecore enthusiasts who are always ready to answer your queries and questions, who are always ready to support us. So you can join Sitecore Slack, and you can find us in Slack as well. Also, we are actively on Twitter to share all community related events and etc. So you can follow us on Twitter as well.
Yep, any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Sri Krishna. Thank you, Kushbu. That was very useful session. We got a couple of questions. I'll just go through one of them one by one. What happens to Sitecore logs in the logs folder? Do they still happen, or does Application Insights replace them with the Azure deployment?
Yep. So the main disadvantage of the application. So when we deploy Sitecore in Azure PaaS, when we navigate to our app data / logs folder, we may not be able to find our application related logs because it is saved in a different place. Like we can navigate, we can get it through Application Insights, or else like we demonstrated in the last section, we can use the Azure tools to fetch all the logs. We can also monitor using real-time log streaming that we also showed in the Kudu. So we now have 3 places where we can see the logs, which is one is Kudu, one is Azure tools, and one is from the Application Insights.
Okay. Next question is, how does Application Insights help diagnose most common issues where IAS worker processor keep consuming memory for some reason or takes heavy CPU cycles? Mostly related consuming memory and heavy CPU cycles. How we can diagnose with using Application Insights?
Okay, so from Application Insights, we can find out that there is something wrong with CPU or memory utilization. But then for the further analysis, as Shri mentioned, we need to collect dumps for that particular issues. We can find the stack trace or any related information from the Application Insights, and then we need we need to collect the program or profiling for more information about that exception.
Yep. And also we showed you a section for app service diagnostics. There we have already some pre-populated issues that majorly occur, like CPU, memory. So if you don't know where to start or what to do, just go to that section, and if you click on CPU or memory tab, memory tile, it will take you to another page where automatically the reports will be generated, and that will mention on how you can proceed further. So we already have a kind of Genie or automatic kind of thing where we get all the details, and still if you are not getting anything from that particular section, then we need to further go and collect memory dumps or profiles, etc. for our application.
Okay. We are getting a lot of questions, so we'll quickly run by one. This question is from Jason. Looks like very big one. Within Azure PaaS, multiple instances of the CD app, have you found a way to limit traffic to an instance until the instance is fully warmed up? Meaning Azure has spun up a new instance for us before the Sitecore shell is fully loaded, and therefore causes an outage until the CD app is fully warmed up or hot. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yep. Once.
No, I mean, Azure has spun up a new instance for us before the Sitecore shell is fully loaded, and therefore causes an outage until the CD app is fully warmed up.
Yep. So we till now we did not have experienced such a kind of issue, but like we mentioned, some default troubleshooting steps should be there, or else might be if you have raised it to Sitecore support, they also might have asked you to collect some dumps or some profiles for that particular server, and why it is taking that much, why that is becoming full. So yep, we have not encountered such kind of issues.
Okay, moving on for the next question. If we click IIS events and start profiling, and will that create our app to restart or something? So Has.
Yep. So I forgot to mention that your application will be freezed for some time. So approximate like 3 to 5 minutes, the application will be freezed. So at that time we cannot do anything. So before collecting dumps or profiles, we have to make sure that, and that too especially in production, we have to let our clients or let the team know that application will be down for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll proceed with collecting these dumps or profiles.
Okay. Next question from Ranjit. Did you guys configure something for unique user sessions as they generally don't appear in reports? Like configure something for unique user sessions as they generally don't appear in reports. Ranjit, what do you mean by don't appear in the reports? Can you further elaborate? I'll move on to the next question. How to troubleshoot particular CD server on Azure PaaS web apps if we have multiple CD within web apps? This is from Ashish. I guess morning this was question raised. Want me to repeat the question?
Nope. Khushbu, you there? Yep.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So there are multiple CD instances. So each instance, if we browse each application, it will take you to, it will have this list of sections or list of panels that we mentioned before. So it is kind of browsing it to that particular application only. And when you click on that particular application, you get these options like application insights, performance, failures section, and everything. And then like Khushbu told, when you go to the application insights, in that particular performance section, there is a section for filters, and you can browse according to the roles like CD1, CD2, or multiple roles will be there. So we can get all the logs, all the parameters, everything that is with respect to any one of the CD server or any both of the CD server. We can collect all the values, all the details.
Okay. Moving on to next question. Did you get a chance to explore Azure remote debugging? Azure remote debugging.
Nope.
Balaji.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry
I was
guys.
just asking. No, it's fine. Next in by Sean. For non-prod environments, have you ever connected a remote debugger? Again, it is remote debugging related. Remote debugger to an app service. If so, are there any drawbacks or issues with doing that? I guess you have not worked on remote debugging, right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to
Nope.
another. If you want to export the logs for last 15 days from application insights, is it possible, or we have to use different ways to export the logs?
It is
Yep. So for that, yeah.
we have that custom timestamp where we can provide the timestamp of like for 15 days or for 20 days for 1 month. So there are default time ranges, but there is one more option, custom, and when you click on the custom, it will give you the to and from dates, to select the to and from dates, and where there you can give the time range, day range, whatever you want.
Okay. Moving on to next one. Okay, Ivan is mentioning that answer for the CD app warming up issue. I'll post the link in chat, then everyone can see it. We already have a next question by Dennis. We already have an advanced SPA from Microsoft from Azure Management. So what is the benefit of Sitecore Azure monitoring tool? Advanced
Okay.
SPA.
Yeah.
Okay,
As
so
we have
like we mentioned, so yeah, this is the basic level of debugging which we need to do. So like even if suppose Sitecore is asking you to collect some Sitecore related details, then obviously we don't need to go to Azure related that tool. We already have some tools which like application insights or live metrics or else kudu kind of tools where we can also automatically get our, so this is mainly for troubleshooting purpose. And what we have seen is whenever we face some application, we just go to Sitecore support instead of debugging ourselves. So this is as a Sitecore developer, how we can just start troubleshooting or debugging your Sitecore web application. We can use that also. There is no necessity that we just need to use Azure itself, means this monitoring itself.
Okay. There are a couple of answers for the warming up question. Thanks, Ivan. And okay, one question: can we collect dumps without without impacting production downtime? This is from Tamil, I guess. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly.
Nope.
I guess
Even yeah.
I guess even as mentioned some answer, you can use cross dump without freeze by using clone. Maybe I'll put it in the chat window. And next one is this is by Ranjit. It was previous questions one. In application dashboard, there is a section that displays number of user sessions to the application. So that is what he is referring to. I need to go back to question first again. Do you configure something for unique user sessions as they generally don't appear in reports? So he was mentioning something related to that.
Okay, so
Okay.
that was the default metric. So it is already added by the Azure monitoring to the default application dashboard. We have not configured for anything for that. It is by default on application dashboard.
Okay. And next one is there any way to configure, this is by Girish, is there any way to configure alerts for slow queries on Azure SQL?
Yeah, we can add multiple alerts to Azure monitoring. Like we can add alert for the web app restarted or slow response from our application. But I'm not sure regarding the SQL slow SQL query. If Shri, if you know.
Yep, it should be available because you mentioned in the application telemetry or application map itself, we can also monitor the slow queries and everything SQL related queries. So it should be available to create a monitoring or create this for SQL queries also.
Yeah, we can set the alerts, but we are not sure what type of alerts provided by
Yep.
Azure. I know about
Okay.
the performance related and all those.
Okay, last question from Venugopal. Is there any limit for space allocation in Azure PaaS?
Space allocation in the sense, so we do have different tiers for our web application. So according to our space, or might be it is related to that, Gopi. I'm not sure. I didn't properly get it, but we do have different tiers in Azure PaaS like S3, S2, and any other web like tiers. So according to your web application space consumption, you can increase the tier for that particular application, which actually increases the cost. So before doing something, you should have a discussion with your client and then start applying these changes.
Yeah, we are getting some more, but we're out of the time. Guys, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Srinivasan and Sri Krishnan and Kushbu. They are in the Slack channels, so you can reach out to them. Thank you, thank you both. Very good session.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for organizing. Thank you. Bye.
Yep, bye. Yes. Ishraq, I made you presenter. 1 second.